Hey guys, my name is Eric,
I'm Jesse.
and this episode is going to be a little bit different from what we've been doing thus far, and it's a little segment I like to call retro review, where we look back into movies from the from the 80s, 90s, and I guess soon enough the 2000s, especially with how close some 2020 is coming. So to start us off, we have a special surprise for our little fan right over here, and that movie we'll be reviewing from Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till freaking Dawn, man.
Yeah, was it? Now I've only seen the first movie of it, and honestly, I can see why a lot of people liked it. I mean, it probably might not be as popular as it was back then, but was it? But at least over time, it has developed a very large cult following, and I'm actually kind of surprised how large it is actually. There's been sequels. There's been
I've seen them.
Yeah, there's even a TV series. And even I didn't know about that.
The TV show is good.
Yeah, man. So
sequels suck, but I still love them, man.
Well, I mean, I'll take your word for it, but Jesus Christ, I mean, I'm surprised.
They're awesome, man. They're awesome.
I don't think I've ever seen a cult following that's both pretty low key for the most part, but it has a large following, so much so that it has that it still exists exists even today.
I know it will always exist.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for the most part, I'm not exactly a fan per se, but I will say that I definitely really do like the movie. Now, at least from what I know, the story is basically about two brothers who just robbed a bank and are on the run from the cops, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They have a bank teller who they're gonna use to sneak them through Mexico, because their faces are plastered all over the place,
mm-hmm.
All over the news. However, things go bad when Richie, because he has psychopathic tendencies and maybe a bit of a
you mean
he's a little psycho,
a mental disorder, right?
Yeah, I guess. He ends up killing the bank teller, so they gotta find a new hostage
mm-hmm.
fast.
And the hostage, or in this case hostages,
mm-hmm.
are the family they're on a trip somewhere.
The Fuller family, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever specified where they were going, right?
I think they were going to Mexico too.
Mm. Oh, okay.
But yeah. So.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since I've watched it, but
yeah. So, anyways, they successfully go through Mexico, they go through the border, and they go to a place called the Titty Twister.
Not exactly the greatest vacation spot I would choose, but
well, technically, the geckos are going to another vacation, but they're just meeting the contact at the Titty Twister. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for the family, I get it. It's a strip club, a bar, and a brothel. So there's two teenage kids there. Someone.
Yeah. Well,
so,
it's all the above.
Yeah. So, however, things go even more wrong when they find out that most of the employees at the Titty Twister are bloodthirsty vampires.
Now, the characters themselves have a few quirks, I guess you could say, right? I mean, but I would like to know, in detail, about the brothers, the family that was that was put up as hostages, or the vampires and all that.
Uh-huh. So starting with the Gecko brothers, it's implied that they have a long criminal history.
Mm-hmm.
Seth is pretty much just a thief. He's been in and out of jail. Richie, however, is a little more extreme.
Mm-hmm.
He's had charges of sexual assaults and stuff like that, and attempted murder, stuff like that. But somehow, Seth is the one who ends up in jail. And
oh wow, that is fucked up.
Yeah, so Richie breaks him out during a riot, and then immediately after breaking him out, they go rob a bank.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
so that pretty much in the first movie, it's kind of a lead up to to what happened before then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then there we have the Fuller family.
Mm-hmm.
consisting of Jacob the father, Kate the daughter, and Scott the son. And Jacob was a priest, a church minister, you know, who lost his faith after his wife, you know, the kid's mom, passed away. So, and in an attempt to get away from all that, he's taking his kids to Mexico to try and get away from you know, everything. You know, just kind of take a step back. But he has lost his faith. You know,
I would too, man.
Yeah, so, you know, he no longer believes in God or wants to believe, and, you know, yeah. And then we have the vampires.
Oh yeah, they are like they were more or less like the best part of the film.
Yeah, man. I mean, the look, the aesthetic of them, it was just like, damn, man. You know, yeah.
I actually do love like how these vampires are portrayed, like at least for the time it was like, you know, made. Not that whole like sparkly bullshit like the Twilight pulled.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, was it? But let's go over like these vampires.
Oh, right? Yeah, they're not. They're also not the Dracula vampires. No, they're
not. But
raving, flesh hungry. I mean, they come at you. You know, like they're
ravenous.
And that's another reason I love from Dusk Till Dawn. I feel like in a lot of ways it revolutionized the vampire mythology. The same way, you know, I guess it was 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah, that movie.
You know, you know, you had the zombies like that, like go slow and shit.
Yeah, I remember.
But 28 Days Later came out, and that just blew everything away because the zombies run at you, man, and like it's crazy, man. So I feel like in a lot of ways, from Dusk Till Dawn is that for the vampire side of things, you know.
So it's like an evolution of vampires done right.
Yeah. I think it was done right. You know, like I said, you know, going back to the classic like Dracula and Nosferatu, they're kind of lurking, kind of spying you. They're more reserved. Intellectual about how they get their
intellectual, reserved,
manipulative. You know what I mean? They try to like separate the person, usually a girl.
They're more human than beast. If that's correct to say.
I would say they're more predatory. Like, you know, like they the thing I admire about these vampires, like they just go at you. They don't care if it's just one of you, two of you, three of you, four of you.
They will go
at you.
Wow.
A vampire in the old time, you know, in the classic vampire, they'll get the lady alone, try to seduce her. You know, she thinks, oh, he wants to get pants, you know, like, oh, he's rich. You know, and then what?
And then then contrast that to these vampires.
These vampires, man, they're not about seduction. They're not about like showing you a good time or anything.
Well,
I mean,
like
go at you, man.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the seduction part it can be like is within like Salma Hayek's character, right?
Yes, yeah. My favorite part of the movie. Yeah.
Hey, it's also my favorite part too, but
yeah, man, yeah. God, she is gorgeous, man.
We need a life, man.
Yeah, so I guess from a certain point of view, she as well, because a lot of the vampires are girls and they're the strippers, and it's also implied that it's a brothel too. So I guess in that sense they kind of
they are sexualized. There's no denying that.
They're manipulative in that sense where they try to seduce the men. But you know, like I said, you know, like the old vampires are like more sneaky about it. These, once you're in the titty twister, they go at you. It's like,
guess I'll explain the name then.
Tear into you. Like, oh, that's a good point, man. That's why they.
Right.
Oh man, ouch. You know. Yeah, no, but yeah. So I like the vampires in this one, man. You know, yeah. Yeah, and then another thing I really liked is the atmosphere, man. I mean, I don't know. You know, just taking place in the desert, you know, in Mexico.
Oh yeah, it definitely complements some the overarching story.
Yeah, because think about it. Where are you gonna run? Even if you get out of the
nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
It's in the middle of nowhere. No trees, no buildings. You're fucked.
No Wi-Fi.
So that's true, you know. So I really liked it. You know, that's one of the atmosphere. Just like. You're not closed in. A lot of horror movies nowadays, or even in the back in those days, It's the idea that you're closed in, like there's nowhere to run.
Right.
There is places to run, just not good places.
Yeah,
a wide open space.
I mean, it's either like like in this case, it's either you run out into the hot scorching sun, or at least in this case, like a moonlit night, or you just stay in with the vampires. If I'm gonna die, I'd rather die indoors. Thank you very much.
With air conditioning, man.
Right.
Air conditioning.
I don't think there's even any air conditioning in there, as far as I know. I mean, there's got to be, but I can't tell you for sure.
Well, I mean, they want to make it nice and cozy. They want you to come in. That's why they flaunt the woman, that.
Well, then how will they sweat?
The pussy guy,
Oh, right.
We got white.
His character.
Yeah, we got white, we got black, we got yellow, we got all that stuff, man.
Well, at least they're not culturally insensitive.
Yeah, man. So yeah, but yeah, no, the atmosphere is just like and I feel like they didn't really bring in Aztec aesthetics. Mm-hmm. Aztec aesthetics. Try saying that 10 times. Until the TV show. The TV show really goes into Aztec mythology, Mayan mythology. Stuff like that, and they bring in a lot of the aesthetics of that too. They didn't really do it in the movie, but I feel like inside the Titty Twister there was a bit of like Aztec,
but it was just glossed over.
Yeah. So yeah, but
now I'm really interested in watching that series then.
The TV show, man, it's awesome, man.
So to close off. Now, I personally really like the movie as a non-fan. Honestly, like if you're going into this, I guess you could say that you can expect like a really good time. It's cheesy, but it's the good kind of cheese. And if I had to give it like a score, I would definitely give it. I'd probably say an 8 or even like an 8.5. It's hovering around that range, but. Look, it's not Shakespeare, but it definitely gets the job done, and for the most part, the fans really love eating it up. So, for me, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. 9, yeah.
You're really confident, even after even after all that you've
I love the movie. Don't get me wrong, I love it. There's a couple things though, that like kind of leave up in the air, and I think that's why like the TV show does really well because it expands a lot of that mythology, not just the vampire mythology, but like also the tale between the two brothers. You find out how they become criminals. Also, I know that's kind of a hallmark for Tarantino movies,
no doubt,
but I really didn't care for the whole sexual assault thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean that was a little too much for me. But aside from that, so I mean also the characters a little, I love the characters too, but there are times when they're a little over the top. But again, when you get really right down to it, this is kind of a B movie.
It's a campy movie.
So that's why I kind of forgive it, because like, B movies are gonna have, over the top characters sometimes. So yeah, but yeah, so now 9 out of 10.
And with that, that's our review from Dusk Till Dawn. But this is only our opinion. What's yours? Leave a comment down below and express your opinions. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. My name is Eric.
My name is Jesse.
And we'll see you next time.